96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. This is Guardian Radio AM with CA Newry. I'm sitting in for Mr. Newry today. I hope he could get here. In fact, I hope he can get here because I may or may not have tied him up so I could have the opportunity this morning to have the conversation with the guests in studio. Joining me this morning are representatives from the newest creatives union in the country, United Artists Bahamas Union. Yes. And we got some special guests in studio today. It ain't Shine. I mean, he in studio, but he been here before. It ain't Mr. Link Scavella. He's a special fella, but he been here before, too. We have an extra special guest in studio today, somebody who I've been trying to find for a long time. She's not here in that capacity to entertain me. She's here to talk about those people who have committed to entertaining the Bahamas and the whole world. So please introduce yourselves. I can let you introduce yourself, madam. Starting to my left.
My name is Lovato Sanz, also known as Shine 242.
There you go.
Link Scavella, also known as Silky Slim.
Get closer to the mic, sir.
Link Scavella.
There we go.
Also known as Silky Slim.
Silky Slim. I was not allowed to go off the side porch on East Street, sir, when you were Silky Slim.
Yes.
And to my
Anita used to be Ellis. I am now a Times.
look at how you've gone from greatness to greatness. The one Anita Ellis is now a member of the greatest family in the history of the Bahamas, along with the Boyd's Mitchell's case. The Hannah Hasty Times family.
All right.
Welcome, cousin.
Well, thank you, family.
And this is the most appropriate time for me to meet you, protocol having been established. So,
Thank you.
now that we know who we are, who we talking to, United Artists Bahamas Union. This is a very new union. Tell me when it was formed and why did you feel the need to create another entertainers and musicians union?
Well, it's been quite some time that musicians were concerned about representation, for quite a few years. Mm-hmm. And when COVID came and the whole world was shut down, realization set in when there was financially. Mm-hmm. And therefore, a few of us had some phone calls, and then we liaised with each other unknowingly that we were asked to do the same thing. In other words, to give assistance to those who really were in dire need.
Absolutely.
So we started calling each other and said, wow, we must do this. If I can sneak out, not sneak out, I was going by the law.
Yeah.
And, let's...
But if I have a reason to be on the road, let me take
Yes.
advantage of that.
So we would go and we would actually meet when we were able to,
Yeah.
collect funds and disperse it to those serious dire need. We talk about established musicians who paved the road for us. Mm-hmm. And we decided, you know what? Because they said they had reached out to the other union and received no assistance, no advice, And so it was heart wrenching. I mean, we had tears. And so we decided to meet every Sunday. And then Mr. Secretary General, Mr. Links Cavallo, we need to reignite the union. So the idea came that we would start our own union. I wasn't in the view prior to that when they was discussing it before that, but it was just right there lingering. But this was now solidification that this is going to happen. We cannot, at our age, have the younger musicians going through this.
Yeah.
And some were at retirement age and were not receiving their retirement funds. Even though in some organizations or properties where they work, levies are taken out. Some of them know, some don't know, but there was a agreement between the property and the union that when an entertainer performs, they would get a percentage. That's supposed to go to either benevolent fund or the retirement fund.
Okay.
However, those who were recipients or were qualified to be recipients were not receiving. So then we decided so that's how we started from way back few years. And I'm going to tell you, we went through typhoons, hurricanes, sandstorms, tornadoes, tsunamis to become registered. So as of November 14, 2022, we are here.
Absolutely.
I will now turn you over to the Secretary General if he would like to extend or expand.
Sir?
Well, I basically wanted to today firstly introduce Mrs. Tynes as our president. She was supposed to be in here the first time we were here.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we have a youth chairman. So that was C.A. Newry. When we first came, he said, all of you guys are seniors.
We're the young people.
We're the young people.
Yeah.
And so I told him, we had that intact. And so we were just waiting on the chairman. And so God pointed us out to Mr. Sands here. And I was following him for a while, his entertainment. So I want to just use that as an opportunity for him to speak.
To introduce himself as
Yes.
the new youth chairman for the United Artists Bahamas Union. Good morning, sir. In this official capacity, the last time we spoke, we was on the road. You know the road I talking about.
Yeah, I know.
When they just open it up.
Yeah, I know.
Get in your car and just go.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Now that you are in this role, how do you see the future of music management in the country?
Well, of course, future is a process, right?
Yeah.
So it definitely it's going to take a while for us to get knowledgeable and to go forward. And I think education, like they say, is key. In my role here as youth chairman, it's basically bridging the gap because there's a lot of things that now we don't know. Now things that we need to know going forward, even encouraging innovative ideas in terms of doing things differently. Like Madam President and the Secretary General said, the seniors in the room, and we respect them. And we respect the path that was paved for us younger artists and musicians. But it's time to get it right. It's time to do it right. Because we can't be doing the same thing over and over.
Because I tell you what, every day I walk the road, I waiting for Bahamian artists to come up to me and say, look here, I can need that little thing. I hear you play my song on the radio, I can need that little thing, right? And that's valid. That's absolutely valid. I'll also say this, as a young Bahamian, I've never had a problem bootlegging a song. But I can tell you why. Because I couldn't find it to buy it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't find it to buy it. And I wanted it because it was good.
Right.
Right? And so, these are some spaces where I see we need some clearing up, right?
Yes.
I want to play Bahamian music. I want to be able to find it and buy it, right? And support the artists.
Yes.
Right? I'm playing music on the radio. I don't feel good unless I know that the artist, like I given you some shine by
Yeah.
playing you on the radio,
Yeah.
but that's not enough. That you have to be compensated for your talent.
Right, and it's in many different ways to be compensated, and a lot of things have changed from then to now in terms of the digital realm, and even the hard copies. Everything still matters, but moving forward, the mission forward is forward, and getting it right, and educating as we go.
All right. So status update: UABU, United Artists Bahamas Union. President, Anita Ellis Tynes, Mrs. Youth Chairman, Mr. Sands, Lovato
Yes.
Sands, also known as Shine 242, My Bahamas, and Mr. Link Scavello. What position do you hold in the union now, sir?
Secretary General.
Secretary General.
Yeah.
Good.
I hold that for a short while.
Okay.
That plan to turn that over to the youth as well.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, I'm still a youth. I don't mind whether I still is a youth.
Oh, we know that.
Yes.
What's the criteria for membership? Who can join UABU?
Any creative artist can join UABU. Any creative artist.
All right. Now, I perform improv,
Yeah.
mainly on the radio. I could come?
Definitely.
All right. I'm a member of the Government High Pop Band. Still in high school. Can I become a member?
Yes.
All right. Absolutely. I am in my church choir. They ain't let me sing a solo yet, but I know I'm good. I want to work on developing my talent. Can I join the union?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Most
All right.
definitely.
I'm a music teacher. I compose privately, but I also compose little things for my students. Can I join?
Most
Yes.
definitely.
Okay. Now, because it says artists, it's not just musicians. What's the scope of artists? Performing artists? Performing arts is what we're talking about, right?
We're talking about performing artists.
All right. Okay, so not painters, but what if I do a stage performance where like fire dancing, I bring people up on stage, I do a
All-inclusive.
painting of the people on
Right.
stage?
Yes.
Yes. Because the union is for
Yes.
protection,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Okay. No,
It
this
is,
is
right?
awesome.
So-
Improv vibes. Giano, Vividly Val. All get on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be a part of the Spot 242. The young people them gone on without us. That's okay.
Powerful.
Do you see what I said?
That's very
Y'all
powerful.
get on this and join the union.
Yeah.
Okay. Now membership. How do I join?
Well, you can go at the office. The office is on JFK. Then the number 323. Oh,
We can get
Wait,
back to the
hold
number.
on, hold on,
We
hold
can find it.
hold on. I think in all them other new numbers. We're trying to put in.
Sands.
trying to put in all these
That's a song. And the way come up to me
323-6510.
Yeah.
65010.
Yeah,
323-6510. That's a song, Mr. Shine.
323-1560.
323
Mr. Shine, you could say get it right.
No, man, I trust you,
I
Madam
told
President.
You,
I trust you.
I
Look here,
am excited.
I-
But our office is on JFK in the
Yeah.
Lutheran Church of Nassau.
Lutheran Church of Nassau.
Yes,
Okay.
the office is open from 10 to 3 Monday through Friday. The application forms are there available for you to fill out.
All right.
You can go over it and ensure that you understand, and you can sign. And the fee, you can pay a quarterly fee of
Okay.
$30,
Okay.
or
Or 102.
$120 for the year,
Okay.
or $60 for 6 months.
There you go.
And I would like to add something very important to becoming a part of our union, in that insurance. You also have the opportunity. We are partnered with British American,
Okay.
and we have gotten together as a group insurance for death benefit and health benefits because, most musicians don't have that or don't have access to that
Yeah.
through the union.
Yeah.
So we also offer that.
This is awesome. Even more awesome than that song I hear you and Shine writing just now about the boy asking for the number and she convincingly can't get it right. Yeah, everybody say, oh, miss, you want me to work for Batelco, and find that number,
For
huh?
some strange reason, right?
Yeah. Awesome. So,
That's okay.
membership dues, 120 for the year, but you can break it down in payments. You can pay 30 a quarter or 60 for half year. This is awesome. Now, I'm maturing. I old enough to catch a bus by myself and get to you, but do I need my parent present when I sign on for membership?
If you are under
18.
18 years
Yeah.
old,
All right.
Yeah,
yes.
most
All right.
definitely.
Without a doubt. Okay, no, that's good. That's good. Are the dues the same for insurance?
Yes.
Okay, no, same level of representation.
Yeah, that's same coverage.
I got you. Understood. Understood. Okay. Now, beyond the insurance, what are the other benefits of UABU? I'm a young artist. I got plenty talent. You guys, if I throw my name in the hat, do you do referrals? Do you say, hey, members, here are some gigs coming up. They're having auditions. They're looking for work. Are you providing that type of service for members?
It's a good question. We have a number of booking agents, reputable booking agents that we work with, and so whenever someone calls us, or personally or the office, we call up those agents and tell them get in contact with them, because we don't want to make the mistake as the other union did, by becoming a booking agent.
Right. You just connect
Yeah, connect the booking agents.
with your list of talent.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, and that's important to have clear structure and
Exactly.
boundaries in the industry, but between
Yeah.
what we do and what we support other people doing. We
Exactly.
don't want to do it ourselves.
Right, right.
All right. Okay.
Well,
Yes, ma'am.
well, we knew, so we still trying to memorize the number, but our number that you can get us at any time, even in case of emergency, will be 457-4862.
457-4862.
And it's
That's-
323-1560. It's at the office.
All right, so let me repeat the numbers for the United Artists Bahamas Union, which is located on JFK in the Lutheran Church building. Landline 323-1560.
Yes.
Cell contact, which is 23.5/7. You just don't know when the half is that you can't get through. Virtually all the time, 457-4862.
Yes.
Well, yeah, the reason why we have that as well is because once we are out there and have been concretely solidifiedly established, we want to be able for the entertainers who are on the job, in case of an emergency, be able to reach us 24 hours.
Yeah, because if I'm at the job site, I'm offloading my equipment, right? And then the people tell me, oh, you got to pay a 50% deposit. You got to pay $50 deposit. And I want to pause right away and say, hold on, sir, I need to call my union rep because this is not sounding right. Let's just confirm this right now
Right.
before anybody get upset, right? And I'm going to call my union and say, hey, this is what's on the table. Is this legitimate?
Yeah.
Should I entertain it? Right? And then somebody may say, listen, it's awkward, but it is an industry standard. You pay the 50 and at the end of the night, you don't break anything, you can get your 50 back.
Yeah.
Just something
Yes.
to have
Yes.
clarity, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, man, this is awesome because I feel like I'm not being treated fairly, and then I don't do the job, and it turns out that was the terms, right? Like for younger artists getting used to the industry, having that type of support is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, another question. Family Island representation, particularly with the growth of tourism developments on Family Islands. Like, surely, we're going to need a rep in Harbour Island soon.
Yeah.
They having plenty entertainings and fun in Harbour Island, but are the artists who are there being treated fairly? Now, when I say treated fairly, what I mean is there's an industry standard, and the question is if that standard is being met.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see it Grand Bahama, Exuma, Eleuthera, even Abaco, because they're still growing, but people are there and they need entertainment. You know, Family Island. And so I wanted to say to my Family Island people, remember, you can always call 242-300-5720 to join the conversation today. Speak directly to UABU, United Artists Bahamas Union representatives. If you have any questions, you have any queries, just want to send a shout out, you want to call the names of some artists on the island we don't know about yet, do that even, because they are always looking for talent. Not to headhunt it, but to be aware of what exists in the country. So I like sharing information.
Yeah.
Right? It is valuable,
Yeah.
and these guys need to know.
Yeah.
Also, we have in Bimini, we have an executive there. In Grand Bahama, we have an executive, Wilfred Solomon.
Awesome.
And then in Cat Island, not Cat Island, Exuma, we have Charlie Isaacs.
Right, there you go. Isaacs, Solomon. Mr. Solomon, we miss you. We know you did perform at the concert, but we still miss you. You need to perform some more. Right. Now, UABU, will one of your functions be sort of regularizing the local digital storage of music and access to music?
That is a good question. Because then that's one of the reasons why we brought in the youth arm, because we want them to go into all of this stuff, including the live streaming and all that stuff.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. See, interesting conversation yesterday with the Bahamas National Choir, Youth Choir executives. And one thing in particular that I didn't know is that in their international performances, in that space they work in, they're required to sing only Bahamian produced music.
Yes.
So even some of those classics we think of Bahamian, like You're Born There and Tell Old Lion, I Ain't Here, right? Those songs will not be performed by our national choir at those events because those are not original Bahamian productions, right?
Right.
And so a space where a catalog of Bahamian music is accessible online, particularly for young people, high school, primary school, BJC, high school, BGCSE, university access is vital for the preservation of the culture, for the preservation of the various art forms that make up Bahamian music, artistic expression, something that the young people should definitely spearhead.
Yeah,
Definitely.
most definitely. And I believe a part of this, being a part of the union, is not only protecting, but I always run back to education.
Yeah.
Knowing your rights, knowing what you know in your jurisdiction, like what you could do and what you can't do. And I personally believe moving forward that education is key. It's definitely key, knowing what to do, when to do, what you can do in terms of the music industry, the music business, having your music available, being registered even. You know, we love music. We love to do it. It makes us happy. It makes people happy. But also if you're doing it as a business, because you don't want to, we leave a lot of stuff on the table.
Yeah.
And that's because, we're not
Focused on those
focused
aspects
on the
of the
aspects
injury.
that comes with it.
Yeah. Without a
and
doubt.
that's-
Yes, in regards to what you said earlier about the general public having access to your work and something about you, what we are doing. I don't want to expose a lot of the things that we are doing.
Working on right now.
Working on right now.
Yeah.
However, all applicants will also have to bring their autobiography once they're registered, the list of songs that they wrote,
Yes, the anthology. Yes.
which copyright they are registered to, this is one way we could compile them digitally and ensure that they are receiving their royalties.
Their royalties and benefits. Oh, look here. So 1,000 ideas. First of all, two things you should never import to the Bahamas. One is sand. The next is music and culture. Right? No cruise ship. In fact, we got these laws, like when you come into to the territorial waters, you get closed down the casino. I got a new law. When you come into our territorial waters, Bahamian or nothing.
Yeah.
Now,
Amen.
the reciprocal side of that is that we have to provide the music, right?
Exactly.
So I want to see, first of all, I want to see love and unity and love and harmony.
Yes.
So I want to see the BEMU step up to this challenge. Every year, henceforth, we should produce 5 albums a year for the tourism industry. If you're a cruise ship coming into Bahamian waters, then you must be playing from these catalogs. We got a Christmas, we got a winter catalog, we got a spring catalog, we got an autumn catalog, we got the summer catalog. And then we get, every year we do a yearly, the best of the year. And anytime you enter territorial waters, you must switch off that imported music. You want to perform. That's the spirit of an entertainer. Let them do Bahamian covers.
Yeah.
If they want rock out, if they want polka, if they want to do the polka, right? Let them reimagine it, Bahamian music, their style, but it must be Bahamian music. I throw that challenge out there to both the UABU and then to the BEMU to join in to the challenge to ensure that it happens.
Yeah.
And we got the catalog of music.
Well, I mean, I could say my ear's on the ground now. Been on the ground for a couple of months. And a lot of young artists and young producers doing, they doing a lot of work.
I tell you, and it's sort of difficult. I was, first of all, shout out to DJ Sampler. Because not only did he get all the music, but he does a playlist.
Yes.
So I could identify the song and then go look for it.
Yep.
Right, to play on the show. So shout out to him. Shout out to whoever putting out the best of the best, the new best of the best, because that's how I find Melody and Ride the Pine. And my favorite, I take my ode to the Billy Goat. Buddy,
Yeah.
I think I could be scared when I see him, but I could try take it.
Yeah.
In fact, you know what that mean? I don't know what that mean. What take my ode to the Billy Goat mean?
I don't know.
He say that like, Miss Alice, Miss Tynes, you know what that mean?
I know.
No
Silky Slim, you know what that mean?
No.
Melody. I need to call you. We need to know. Because I around here singing this and I just
Take my
realized
ode to the Billy
Billy
Goat.
Goat.
that's like, can't find Jerry Roca in town. I needed to find out what the song was about before I continued. I found out why they couldn't find Jerry Roca in town and why they went to Nagua to go look for him.
Powerful.
I just want to say it have something to do with a woman named Alice.
Wow.
Right.
Powerful.
But the young people need to know these things.
Yeah.
And they can only do that if they have access to a space where cultural stakeholders work to preserve the music, to create infrastructure to ensure that the music is known, it's protected, and the artists are protected who are creating it.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the most urgent issues on UABU's agenda right now?
But excuse me, Mr. Secretary General, let me just add to that. Besides the protection of the artists and their work, we would like to ensure that they are paid
Yes.
accordingly as well. I just wanted to add.
No, man, without a doubt. Because when you realize that the movie Nope by Jordan Peele, right, acclaimed African-American horror genre movie producer, the whole movie Nope is inspired by Jordan Peele's introduction to Tony McKay,
Yeah.
to Exuma, the Old Bear Man.
Yeah.
The whole thing, right? When you realize that, then you realize that not only should they be getting paid, but we have to create infrastructure that allows us to measure them with the world standard.
Yeah. Yeah.
None of this, but you in the Bahamas, so what you expect, what I expect is for you to recognize where the Bahamas is in the world,
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
right? And where our music takes
All right.
us. It's not just for the benefit of tourism. right? It's for the benefit of the whole world, and we should be paid
Yeah,
accordingly.
speaking on that,
Yes, ma'am.
it's the same. It's the same as Mr. Chisholm in the football arena. Same as the ladies in the sport. So our standard and is just as good and better than.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. On that note, let's shout out Jonquel Jones in the New York Liberty. They
All right.
beat the Connecticut Suns.
Going to the finals.
Her old team, and they going to the finals. And I have to say that Jonquel Jones helped to drive them there.
Oh, yeah.
Celebrate the women as much as we
Yes.
celebrate the men.
Right.
The
Yeah.
presence of the
Yeah.
Bahamas is everywhere. You know?
Yeah.
And I just feel like as creatives in the orange community, we kind of like limit ourselves because we think that we can't, but we absolutely.
Oh, we
Can.
could. We could.
Right? There's a Go on, ma'am.
I have traveled the world. I have performed with many, many, many international artists. I won't even begin to name them. And I've heard our locals, and they can top them. They can top them. I'm speaking of artists. See, I'm talking about watching them live. You can go in the studio and you could augment your music in so many different ways.
Yeah.
But when you live, it's a difference. Now, watching them live and watching our Bahamian artists live, man, we could top them.
In fact, that strikes in me the need to say this is that at a policy level, I think that we have to demand a space carved out for Bahamian artists in every tourism space. Now, there's a balance there because I feel a way about an entity that has more resources and can create a better environment for our artists than we can do locally. But at the same time, I ain't gonna begrudge you. I'm gonna say, listen, you got it, make it available because we can buck out the space.
You're on point.
We're gonna do it value. But secondarily, because our younger artists deserve the opportunity to perform. It's those live performances that sharpen the iron,
Yeah.
right?
Earlier you asked about our most urgent matters. We have a lot of complaints that we want to address.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let's go to the caller, and then when we get back from the call, we're going to get into some of those complaints. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Ms. Rain, and good morning to your distinguished guest.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am very well. I want to call to thank Ms. Tynes and Mr. Skavala for the excellent work that they're doing in the formation of this very necessary Bahamian organization to look at the rights and protect the interests of our Bahamian artists. I think they are to be commended. There's a tremendous void in that for many years, decades, we have not been getting proper representation where deserved by the artists in this country. One of the things that has to happen, and we will demand that it happen, that the government must, whenever they are discussing these heads of agreements with these mega resorts and others, cruise ships, etc., it must be mandatory that they incorporate Bahamian entertainment in a real way in all of these properties. We must have ownership of the space in these respective destinations so that we can ensure that Bahamian entertainment has a presence in every major resort in this country. If you leave it to the foreign direct investors, as is the case currently, it will not happen. And so until the government of the day, any government for the last 40 years, see the wisdom to make it mandatory, not to the discretion of the direct investor, but by the government of the Bahamas to make sure that there's a Bahamian presence on every major resort in this country. If they do that, and secondly, we must insist that the government of the day create and establish an entertainment cultural encouragement act so that private sector people will be incentivized to invest in the music and entertainment industry as they were back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s when entertainment was considered the golden era of the Bahamas and the envy of the entire region. Thank you very much. I will continue to listen.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
very powerful.
Yes. That is very powerful.
Tell the audience who we were listening to just now, sir.
That's one of our members,
Yes.
Mr. Fred Munnins Jr.
There you go.
Yeah.
We know who he is.
Yes.
But I just wanted to make formally, and he is a member of the union.
Yes, he's one of our members.
I mean, absolutely. And so I always talk about this idea that people, no matter how much talent they have, reach a point where they need a system to plug into.
Exactly.
And that's what he's talking about. We see that we have awesome talent, dedicated, committed, disciplined, working on their craft. They assist, they volunteer, but they need a structure to plug into. And a part of that structure, like Mr. Munning said, would be an entertainers and musicians encouragement
An act, yeah.
act, right? We have it for hotels. Why can't we have it for Bahamian people?
Exactly.
Absolutely. So let's get into the complaints, the urgent agenda items to address by the union.
Yeah, one of the urgent agenda items would be the influx of foreign entertainment coming into the country to engage in employment, and they do so by bypassing the government agencies and, in many cases, the relevant unions. And so there are times when we would call up the immigration and labor department and say, you know about this concert coming in? And they say, no, we have nothing on this. But what happened is it seems to be political, because at one point a guy told me, don't worry with me, I straight, right? And, you know, when I know who it was, and then, you know, I was like, yeah, but you're supposed to be up and up based on who
You are.
you are.
I know the situation you're referencing. We're not going to mention the names on air, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, so, and I don't care who your ma or your pa is.
Right.
You can get it right.
If you're politically exposed, it doesn't mean that you get a benefit. It means that you have stricter
Exactly.
requirements. Like you don't get a benefit, you get more restrictions because of your exposure to the
Exactly.
political world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that.
So those type of complaints we have, and we're going to address them aggressively. And let me say this, we're not afraid because we are affiliated with the TUC, the Trade Union Congress, and we have big brothers and big sisters. We're not afraid.
In fact, I saw the article that the United Artists Bahamas Union joined the TUC November 15th.
14th.
14th.
Yes.
Right. Listen, the day of. This was an integral part of the formation of the union itself. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, something that I see whenever I'm on social media and I see a big hotel advertising a concert, I always send a very polite message asking, saying, this man is awesome, great artist, people are going to love it, but who is the Bahamian who's opening the act?
Yeah.
Isn't there a requirement that foreign acts have to have a local opener?
There's a policy in place.
But
What-
not bound by legislation.
Yeah, and so what happened
Okay.
is we have already
Come a little closer to the mic.
did a legal framework
Yeah.
to address the same thing that you're talking about,
All right.
where these things could become law rather than just policies. And so we plan to have our attorney look that over and then present that to the government, because these things are very, very important.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
First of all, we can provide that act.
Yeah.
We can provide a quality act to match any level of performance artists that you bring to the Bahamas. We find somebody to match that.
Exactly. I had a situation where you may recall when Smokey Robinson was coming to town, and the hotel that was bringing him in, the manager at the time said, "Oh, they don't want an opening act," and so I said, "Oh, they gotta have an opening act," and it was like, "No, we give you the money and you do whatever you want," but you know. I said, no, we ain't taking no money under no table or on top of no table. The policy is we want to open an act.
Yes.
And so I had to fight with them with that. And I, at the end of the day, got the, I think it was Snapshot that opened up for Smokey Robinson when he did come.
All right.
And so it's just a matter of fighting for it.
Yes, man. Yes, man. Okay, quick question. Soulful Groovers. They Bahamian?
Soulful Group, yes.
Yes.
See what I saying? This
Yes.
is what I saying. What you mean?
Yeah.
We ain't got
Yes.
nobody to open up for Smokey Robinson.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Another issue that I've seen people talk about is royalties. How are artists being paid when their music gets played on the radio? At parties, at concerts. So like in the interim, bands are changing, you put on a track. You're playing some local artists. Are those artists being paid for those performances?
No.
And what can be done to resolve that?
You want me to?
Yeah.
Okay. I live in Adelaide. Sometimes I'm sitting under the mango tree, right? And there's a party going on the beach. And I'm thinking Shine and Anita or whoever music they playing, I'm thinking they out there live.
Yeah.
So here it is. Whoever's playing the music, they got a nice job for that day. And Shine or Anita or Funky D or KB, they're trying to figure out where the next gig is coming from.
Yeah.
So we have to address that. And that's the reason why the president said earlier, when you put your application in, we want to know certain things so you go after your benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You see?
and that also boils down to education again.
Exactly.
Right? So, like, I feel like, well, every establishment who plays music, whether it be live or in a store, should pay a blanket license fee. That covers.
Right. See, because if you playing, say, I'm turning on a radio station that plays Bahamian music, that radio station is paying a fee.
Yes.
Right. So we understand that, but
Yes.
but there needs to be a mechanism to compensate.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you could walk downtown and, all the stores playing
Yeah.
music live, but who's getting compensated for it?
Yeah.
Along with the DJs as well. I mean, nothing against them, but they are part of the culture in terms of pushing the music, but that's intellectual property.
Right. Now the types of fees that we're talking about globally, these are not exorbitant fees, right?
No. It's
5%.
Five, yeah.
All right. Okay.
5%. If you're a DJ and you working or entertain an artist
Yeah.
under that umbrella, whatever you get paid, 5%
Should
of your
go to
levy
the union
should
that
go
represents
to
those
the
u-
union.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's not exorbitant,
No.
and it can be built into the cost for the event, right?
Yeah.
And the investment that's investment for yourself. So when you have, for example, let's just say they have a DJ convention, and we decided, let's see, check out the DJ list. We say, we want you to represent UAB at this convention. You come back and we hold a forum where you will expose what you got
yeah.
and give it to the other DJs at home.
Yeah.
So in different categories. And another point I'll touch on is these big properties that play the music. Who is responsible in these big properties? They're playing house music 24 hours a day, and the artists are not receiving their royalties.
Right. Because I want a big hotel to play Bahamian music. Every corridor, even when you walk in from building to building and you just outside in the sun for 3 seconds, I want it all to be Bahamian music all the time. But to have that, I understand that I have to build in a compensatory mechanism to ensure that these artists can get paid and are supported throughout their careers.
Yeah.
All right, I've got a text here. How about Bahamian musicians and entertainers being on cruise ships that are registered in the Bahamas? Not only for cruise ships that come to the Bahamas, but especially for those that have their own private islands and keys in the Bahamas. Even those ships that have like a private land enclave and or resort style setup. I want to couple that with, I watch that show Below Deck all the time. They do a leg that comes through the Caribbean. They've been in the Bahamas. But one thing that they do for their guests is that they will, at the guest request, they'll have an entertainer
Yes.
on the boat, right?
Yes.
And when you come to the Bahamas, the entertainer got to be Bahamian.
Yeah.
yes.
So we are in some talks now with
Right.
with cruise people, and so we on the next show we'll come back and bring some update on that. But we're
Yeah.
in some serious talks now with them.
I want to say, some people say, but not all the tourists want to listen to Bahamian music. Y'all don't know we got rock artists, eh? We got classical artists, and we got chorale artists, we got violinists, we got string city
Saxophonists.
saxophonists, we got D'Aguila and the jazz band, and they're training up all the little children.
Yeah.
God bless his soul. We got Lee Callender and a catalog of music and artists that he prepared for the world.
Exactly.
I mean, we got the Scalawags, one of the newest rock bands in Nassau, the old boy them. We remember y'all. They've been playing rock and roll in New Providence for years.
yes.
We got
Oh,
rake and
yes.
scrape bands on every island. Some of our white Bahamian Conky Joe rake and scrape bands,
Yeah.
they shine. They challenging you, you know.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
They challenging you, right? So we have a full catalog of genres,
Yes.
performers,
Yes.
styles, energy. I would say shout out to Camila in New York making music. Y'all know about Camila Gibson
yes,
in New York.
yes,
I mean,
yes.
she making some club music. Our boy Lamont. He making some adult risque music, but it's still quality music. You can't play it for your children. Don't play it for your children.
Well, even Lovely just released a new single
Oh yeah,
out
that's,
of New York.
that's nice. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Right?
And
we haven't even touched on the artists in the diaspora.
Yeah.
right.
Right? Oh my goodness.
We have everything we need.
So,
It's
all
just
right.
putting
all
it
right. For
together.
example, I played the steel drums. I played Sunday night in Bimini Road, 4 hours. Me one. Right?
Where Bimini Road is.
Right in the Marina Atlantis.
Did I tell y'all my Corinne Mitchell
See?
wouldn't let me off
See?
the side porch?
See, just like you say, like the tourists, some tourists don't like to listen to Bahamian music. But here's what the young gentleman, I would like to say this right now
Yeah.
to our young upcoming sooner or later to take my place somewhere. Someone, one of them.
One of them, yeah.
See, and I love that you touched on that topic.
Yeah.
I would take. They would, let's just say they request "Sweet Caroline." I play it in calypso.
Yes.
Duh.
That's what
And they love it.
That's what our job
They love
is.
it.
Now I know this may be like incongruent with the idea of the union, right? Like with the idea of the National Youth Choir's policy, Bahamian only.
Yes.
But come on, man. That is the thing that will distinguish us from all other tourism products. Any song you bring to us, we gonna Bahamianize it for
Oh,
you.
yes.
Yeah.
Anything you bring, we gonna make it Bahamian.
Our youth arm, we have so much confidence in him.
Yeah.
We he's going to be bursting with
Now listen,
ideas.
you can't become another Dr. Ian
Listen.
Strawn though, because see, with
Listen.
Dr. Ian Strawn, we have to hold him up. Right, we have to hold him up, understanding that we want him to do all of these administrative. We want him to carve the path.
Yes.
We want right, but in his heart of hearts, in our heart of hearts, we want him to write the books. And once again, thank you, Dr. Ian Strawn, for the copy of the book. I ain't forget. Right, the tension, and I think this is a big thing. And I'm hoping that the union provides a space for it, right? That we balance the tension between the work that has to be done and the work that our hearts demands from us, right? And
Right.
how do you balance the time you need to focus on the union and the time you need to write this? Boy, I want to call the name of that song. I Like Wake Hard. You know what song I'm talking about? I Like Wake Hard. I can't call the radio name right now.
I know.
Right? That there is this tremendous tension for people on the cutting edge, that they're doing the work, but they also have to carve out a space that can appreciate the value of the work they're creating at the same time. And I say, salute to all of those people that take on that work of cultural stakeholdership, putting their heart's desire on the side for a second to focus on what the collective needs. If y'all don't mind, let me go to this call quick. Ooh, producer, I see what time it is.